Hi guys, welcome back. This is now Build the Classic Routemaster and we've got issues 21 and 22. So, as I said, or just a quick recap, as I said in the last issues, 19 and 20, they were out of stock a few months ago, so they actually issued me with magazines 23 through to 26 really early. So I've obviously had these issues this month, and they're back onto the ones I had previously. So I'm actually a month ahead now. Obviously there was a month when I didn't do any videos, but we're making up for that now. So I'm doing 2 issues for the next 4 weeks, or 3 weeks now. So yeah, that's why we're doing 2 issues each video. So yeah, it'll make me catch up a little bit. You know, it's not a race. I'm not bothered. I'm not caught up with everyone else. For me, it's just a bit of fun. And I enjoy the part work. So, but yeah, I just thought as I've got them all here, I may as well do 2 because I had 8 copies in total. So hopefully next month I shall get my delivery back in sync. So then I'll have 27, 28, 29, 30. That is the hope. I'm actually going to make a phone call just to double check that they are aware I had those issues. I've just got a feeling they might reissue 23 to 26 again, because I've just had 19, 20, 21, 22. I don't know, I've just got a premonition that I'm going to receive 23, 24, 25, 26 and it's going to be an error. So I don't want to have to wait, and 2, obviously I don't want to have double issues of something I've already got, you know, for other people that might need them or whatnot. So I will ring them and just clarify what they've got on their system for my next delivery, but I'll wait a week or 2 before I do that. Anyway, enough yabba. Let's start on with issue 21. We're going to be doing the other wheel for the rear, and then we'll move on to 22 shortly after that. So let's crack on and see. Okie doke, so here we go. This is issue 21. Let's open the bag. I did have another comment that other YouTubers have got all their parts laid out, ready to go to start filming. Again, for me, it's not a race. I want to open these as and when I get them in front of you guys, so you can see exactly what's what. You know, it doesn't take too much longer just to go through the parts, but it's part of the build, isn't it? So yeah, I don't, you know, and if I don't want to copy other YouTubers, you know, all YouTubers have different ways of doing things and different ideas, and you know, I don't want to be the same. I'm Horlicks, I'm me, and you know, I wouldn't say I'm unique because, you know, we're all doing the same thing, but you know, I might do things slightly different to other people. Okay, so we've got 21A, which is a tyre. I've got the hot water here ready to go, so I'm just going to dunk that in straight away. So we've got time, that's got time to warm through. We've got 21B, which is the rear inner wheel rim. Again, this is made of metal, beautiful part. We've got 21C, which is the brake disc. And we've also got, ooh, we should have had a washer, and that was either missing or it's got stuck to the plastic and I've launched it on the floor. So bear with me 2 seconds. That is an error in my part. Yeah, the washer should have been in there, so it may have been stuck like the last one was static. So just bear with me 1 sec. Okay, sorry about that, I'm back. There it is. That is an error in my part. I was too hasty. I've already done that on the last one. The static got that stuck to the lid, and if you saw on the beginning of this video, you could actually see the washer, and then it got attached to the lid, and then I put that down in my little rubbish pile, and it was still stuck to the plastic. So my error, but there you go, I've done that so you don't. So okie doke, where were we? So yeah, obviously we've got 21D, which is the washer, and then obviously we've got some IM screws and some GM screws. Now I've still got the pot from last time, so I'm just going to pop them into the relevant holes. So there's the IM screws, and then we've got GM screws. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to take the tyre out of this warm water, and then we're going to dry that thoroughly. Now ideally you want to use kitchen roll because it doesn't break up like this toilet tissue. But I haven't actually got any. I ran out and I didn't realise, so it is on the shopping list. Okie doke. So once that is all dry, and I'm happy that is nice and dry, just clean that off. Obviously we're going to fit that in as the previous. This one seems a little tighter, and it did on the last one, but there we go. Just crack that into place. You'll know when it's in. It has a nice fit. There we go. That is that all together. Okay, so now what we're going to do again is we're going to attach the wheel. So from the last issue, we had this one, and with the pins facing down, obviously they're only going to fit one way, even though they look to be sort of in a triangular shape, they are off. So just be careful, line them up, and they will lock into place. Okay, and then obviously if you look from the other side, you'll see the screw holes again lined up. Okay, and I've also, being too quick, inadvertently chucked away my little dish I had with the oil. So I'm just going to pop some 3-in-1 oil in there. Grab the screwdrivers, and then we're going to use GM screws to secure these two wheels together. So that's one, two, and I'm just going to put them in enough to grab, and then as last time I will then go round and tighten them all evenly. So they're all in nicely, and then just go round, tighten them up. There we go, I'm happy with that, and that is fairly evenly spaced. And then we've got another heavy set of rear wheels. Okie doke, so now we've done that, again we're going to then turn over the page, and we need to grab the chassis that we did, and as you can see we've already got one set of wheels on there, so obviously we're going to be working on the other side. Just going to move that jug. So as before, if you can see, you've got the keyway on the top there of the axle, just there. So we're going to fit the brake disc over, and again you've got the marks from the manufacturer on that side. I'm going to put them towards the back. The only reason I'm doing that, it doesn't matter which way this goes, but there is holes in the wheel, so it's going to be very difficult to see it, but just for the sake of it, I'm going to put them behind so that they won't show through the holes in the wheel if they do. Okay, so then what we're going to do then again is we're going to pop the wheel over there like so. Hopefully that'll stand up for you. We're going to grab the washer and then we're just going to pop the washer in. Just straighten that washer out. There we go. And then we're going to use an IM screw to secure the wheel into place on the axle. So again, I'm going to use some of my 3-in-1 oil. Move you up a bit. And then we'll just screw that in. Now, if you remember, we did the last one. Don't do it too tight because you want enough movement. So maybe just turn the wheel. See, that's starting to stiffen up, so I'm going to loosen that off again, and there you go. I'm happy with that. It's not really loose, and you know what, that is beautiful. There's no movement at all in that wheel. That is solid. The other side was a little bit looser, but only a tiny bit, but that's absolutely perfect. And obviously if you put it down, the wheels do move okay. Okay, so I'm really happy with that. And then obviously the last step we need to do for this is we're going to then put the cover over. Again, you want to put your weight in the center of this, and then that's just a push fit connection just into the middle there. Okay, now mine isn't clicking or anything, but the other side didn't either, but I don't want to force that down too much. Okay, and then there you go, we've got a set of rear wheels on there, and they move absolutely perfectly. So that is that for issue, what are we on? Sorry, 21. Getting lost with all these magazines. So that was issue 21. So I'm now going to put this aside, and then we'll grab out issue 22 and we'll make a start on that. 22 is a bit of change of scenery. We've got lots of little small fiddly parts and some belts. So let's crack on and see what that's about. So okay, so here we are, returned with issue 22. So there's lots of small parts in here. So got to be careful with static and whatnot. We don't want to lose anything. There you go, look at all these, and we even get a set of tweezers in here. I'm not going to use these ones though because they're not really very good, so I'm just going to open the bag. We'll carefully get all this out. I believe that's everything. I'm just going to leave that to the side just for the moment, just in case. So what we've got in this issue is lots of things, and we need to try and work out what they are. So 22A and B are pulley wheels. Okay, so they look to be these here. So let me zoom in for you so you can see where we're at. So that is the first one. Get a good zoom on there. That is 22A, and it looks like that. Now 22B, it was obviously like that on the desk, but if you turn it up like that, you will then actually see what you see in the image, and that is what 22B looks like. So I'm going to put these along here in order. So A, B. C is this drive belt. So it's just a rubber band basically. It's slightly skew if there, but it's just for aesthetics. It won't actually run. 22D is this part here, and E. These are pulley wheels again. The image shows it this way round, but the image in the magazine doesn't actually show that keyway. So I think that is definitely the right way, because you can't put it. It doesn't look like that on the image. It does look like that with 3 tiers up there. Okay, so that's going to be D, and then this is E, because it's the last thing that looks like it. Again, it looks the same, but it hasn't got the keyway on the image. Okay, so that is D and E. 22F is the brake pump drive, and that is actually this part here. Again, it's got a keyway on that side, and then that side you've just got like a pin there, and obviously a groove where I assume the belt will sit. 22G is this part here, which is the compressor cooling fins. Very small part here, very detailed. I can see you've got a locating pin on this side, and then obviously you've got also some sort of pin that side, and that is like a key, in a key shape. There is a little bit of plastic residue on the top, which you can just see, which I shall just very carefully just scrape off there. So that is the cooling fins. 22H is a pipe. Sorry, this one here, and then that is the orientation in the magazine. Okay, so again, a very small part. So hence probably why we needed the tweezers in this issue. 22I is this drive unit housing. Now this is made of plastic. Okay, very intricate, lots of detail on there. Everything looks to be all in order. So there's also keyways and things, so that explains why there's a lot of keyways on these parts. 22J is the cap, which is this part here, and it's got like a locating pin in the middle there, and that is what it looks like from the other side. Okie doke. This is 22K, which is a bracket. Again, you've got a locating pin on the back side of there. I assume that's the back side, and then obviously that's what it looks from the front. Okay, and then that is the orientation it shows in the magazine. And then we've got 22L and then 22M, which are brake line connectors, which are these two, and I think they are identical. And as the previous brake line connectors, one side has got a smaller hole than the other side. So we'll have to be careful when we're fitting this that we've got these in the right direction. 22 SIN is a brake line. So we've obviously had one of these before. leave that there. We also get supplied some tweezers. Again, these aren't very good tweezers. They don't really... They'll be okay, you know, if you haven't got anything. But I much prefer... I've got two lots of tweezers, actually. I use these ones. I much prefer these type. You get a lot more control with these, like needle nose tweezers. Okay, so I prefer using those. So I'm going to leave those out because we might need them. And then we've also got some DP screws and HP screws here. Okie doke, so I'm just going to put these, I've got some IM screws here, which I'm going to put away from the last issue. And we've got some GM screws. I'm just going to pop them away as well. So we've got a fresh pot for the screws that we're working with in this issue. So that's the DP, and then we've got HP as well. HP is a new screw. I haven't got any HPs yet, so they are a new screw for me. Okay, so everything at the ready, we can begin the build. Okay, so fit the stem of pulley part 22D into the hole of the centre of the pulley part 22E. Okay, so we know that pulley part 22D, because I've put these in order. Let me just adjust my focus again. So we know these are in order. We've got A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M. Okay, so that's how we've arranged them. So we want to fit the stem of pulley part 22D, which is this part here, into the hole of the centre of E, which would be this part here. And that makes sense because you've got a keyway on there, and that's going to match up with the key on this part here. Okay, so you're going to be able to focus on the table, but obviously I want you to see what I'm doing in my hand. So that is just going to fit on like so. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we're going to place that through, fit the wheel onto the socket on the side of the drive unit housing 22I, so that's this part here. It wants it in this orientation with this part facing downwards. That is then going to fit into this hole here, so you've got the keyway there, and then the screw hole, that's going to fit into there like so. And then it's going to look like that. And then we're going to use a DP screw to secure that from inside there. So I'm just going to grab my screwdriver, there we go, and then we'll secure that in. I don't need any oil or anything for this because obviously we're going through into plastic. Don't go mad, just tighten it till it wants to stop. That is solid, I'm happy. Okay, the next step is to fit the brake pump drive 22F. So that is this part here. And that is going to go into there. And again, you've got the keyway there, and then you've got the lock. Well, that's the lock, there's the key. So that is then going to fit one way into there like so. Okay. And then again, we're going to use a DP screw to secure that from the other side. So I'm just going to carefully line that up, hold that into place. And then we're just going to secure that with the DP screw from the other side. Make sure it goes in straight. You might want to apply a little bit of pressure just to stop that spinning. Again, just enough to tighten that, and then I'm happy with that. That is not going anywhere. Okay, next we need to take pulley part 22A, and then we're going to fit that over the stem. So this part here, and it wants the wider part facing upwards, so it's actually going to go on like that. Then we're going to fit 22B, which is going to be this part here, over the top. And then what that'll do, if you put that on the wrong way, it will go, but you've got no groove there, so you need to turn that round, so you've obviously got the groove there, which makes sense, because I assume the belt will fit between those channels. Okay, so we're going to do that, pop that all together, and then again with a DP screw, just secure those 3 parts, or 2 parts, onto there. So again, just tighten that screw till it wants to stop, which is there for me. That is tight, I'm happy with that. And then as you can see, we're sort of forming the channels where the belt's going to sit. Okay, next thing we're going to do is it wants us to fit the cap 22J, which is this part here, onto the bottom of here. And obviously it's push fit connection, and there's no direction, but I see I've got a few scratch marks on there. I don't even see that, like a dent. So I don't know whether they've done that in the factory when they were packaging. Let me just move the zoom. There we go. Can you see? It's like a few scratch marks and a dent. So it's not going to bother me, but I'm actually going to put that facing downwards underneath there, so you can't see that. And I've also got a little bit of flash or something on the side, which I'm just going to carefully remove. I'm going to do it on the table actually, so I don't. There we go, that's perfect. Okay, so with that facing downwards, yeah, that's just going to be push fitted onto there, and that seems to be quite secure. I'm not going to actually glue that at this stage just at the moment. It seems to be fitting okay, it's fairly tight, and it's certainly not going to fall off, so that's good for me. Step 7, we're then going, step 6 we're on now. No, step 5. I'm jumping way ahead. Step 5. Turn the drive unit housing around. So we're going to be looking at the back here. And then we're going to fit 22G, which is the cooling fins, into the socket. Again, this is a push fit connection. So 22G is actually going to go into the top hole of the two. So if you're looking at that way around, it's this top one with that side, and that is a push fit connection. This will only go in one way because of the shape. And that sort of clicked into place. I'm not sure if you would have heard that. And then obviously that's going to be like that, and then the locating pin just there will be facing behind. Okay, so that's what that looks like. Then 22H is the pipe, and again this is going to go in one way. You've got like a key there, and that is going to fit into that remaining hole. Again, this is a push fit connection. Okay, as you can see there's a bit of a gap there, so then what I'm going to do is grab my tweezers, go either side, and just push that in. Okay, so that is very slightly loose. It will come out. So what I'm going to do for that one is I am going to apply a little bit of glue. I'm pretty confident that that will be fine to do so. Just going to cut the end of my glue off because it's dried. So all I'm going to do is I'm literally going to dip a small amount of glue just on the end, line that up, try not to touch it, and then fit that back into place. And then again with the tweezers, just push that through. And then that should glue into place. I mean, instantly that's gone solid. I'm happy we won't need to do any more to that. The top one's fine, that clicked into place. Okay, so we should have something that looks along those lines. Step 7 now, we're going to be fitting the drive belt itself, and that is going to go through all of the ribs that we've created. So I've got a bit of a deformity just here on my belt, so I'm going to make sure that's along this bottom edge. Okay, and then I'm just going to run that round, hold that into place, and I'm just going to get the back of my tweezers just to carefully stretch that round, and then just position them with the tweezers so carefully into the groove. There we go. Just checking the belt is straight. And it is. So there we go. I've actually managed to get the deformity at the top for some reason, but that's fine, I'm happy with that. And then that's all straight in the channels there. And there we have that part complete. So that is the finished view for this part here, and that looks to be absolutely perfect. Next we're going to be attaching a brake line. We're going to be doing these brake lines here. So let me just move you in. So what we're going to do is, take the two brake line connectors M and L and take the bracket, and then check the orientation matches the diagram. So it wants this to be this way round. Okay. It wants this way round, with the pin facing the front. It then wants one of these brake line connectors, and it wants the wider hole these are the same parts, but they have labelled them individually, it's saying. These are exactly the same parts, but they've been labelled individually for clarity later on when we come to connect brake lines and things. So you want to take one of them and the larger hole, this is quite complicated. It's going to go on something like that. It's just going to fit in like so, but we also need to fit the other one in between. Okay, I think it's something along those lines. It's very difficult to tell. So then when we look at this from the side angle, yeah, that is perfect. So I'll do that again. So you want to put one this side in the middle, and then we're going to feed the other one in like so. And then from this pin, it's hard to explain, the third piece in the middle there is actually the frame of this. So you should have 1, 2, the frame, then 1, 2. With the brake line connector on this side, the side away from the locating pen, you want the outside edge there on the very far outside. I hope that makes sense. This is so difficult to explain, but that's where we're at. So like that, and then like that, and then what we need to do, obviously the larger holes on both sides will be on this side towards the locating pin, and then you need like 15 hands, I think. Whilst trying to hold all that in place, we're actually going to fit that in with a HP screw through this side. This is fairly challenging. So we've got a HP screw lined up, so it goes through. I'm just going to start that off gently, and then you just want to make sure that fits through all of the components. So that's through 2. And then you want to line up the middle. Sorry, I'm off camera. Oh, right, there you go. That is all together. That was a bit tricky, because you obviously got to make sure that 5 of those holes are all lined up as you push that through. So that gives you a better idea of how I fitted that. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to tighten that up a little bit. Now obviously that does move, and I can't tighten that up anymore. So I'm assuming that that is supposed to move. Make sure that the arrangement of the connectors on the other side of the eyelet matches the illustration. Yes, that is all together. I think that is supposed to move. There's no way of really tightening that up. But please let me know in the comments below if yours doesn't. But that seems to be how it wants it to go. So I'm just going to double check. So we've got it this way round. We've got the leg of the connector. Then we've got the leg of the other connector. Then the frame. Then the leg of that one. Then the leg of that one. Yeah, that looks fine. Okay, so once we've done that, we've got the locating pin facing us. We're then going to put the brake line on 22M, which I've labelled this one here. Okay, and that is just going to pop on there, like so. And that is the finished view. Okay, so yeah, that was it for issue 21 and 22. 22 was very complex, very fiddly. However, we got there in the end, and that brake line was so difficult to sort of explain, but I'm hoping you could see what I was doing most of the time when I wasn't off camera, and I hope you managed to see sort of what I did there. But yeah, that was it. So until next time, again, thank you for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, and if you wish to buy me a coffee, there is a link in the description below. For now though, take care, and I'll see you next week.